Welcome back to my channel. If you have not been here before, welcome. My name is Jazz. Today I am coming at y'all with just a little Loc update, and then I want to talk about some of the struggles I have had to deal with over the course of my Loc journey. Of course, before we get into the video, I do want to remind you guys to go ahead and give this video a like, give it a thumbs up, and please go ahead and subscribe. Now let's get into these Locs. So real quickly, I just want to do a little tiny update. I did an update video a few months ago. If you guys are wanting some in-depth update information, go ahead on over to that video. Not much has really changed since then. So as of right now, I am about 3 years and 7 months locked. I will be 4 years locked in November. I cannot believe it is going by so quickly. And I am of course loving my locks, and here is what they're looking like so far. So I did do a twist out this past weekend, and I have not been retwisting my hair every night. So the curls are definitely starting to fall. But I am so excited because I am really getting some length. Like, y'all look at that. You really can't tell me nothing these days. But yes, this is what my hair is looking like right now. We are finally getting some length, y'all. Before we get into the Loc update, I do want to run something by you guys really quick. I really want to start being more active here on YouTube. I'm a lot more active on Instagram and TikTok, and as we know, TikTok may or may not be getting banned. I do want to make sure that I try and branch out on other social media platforms. I have almost 800 subscribers on here. I feel like if I were to actually give this platform some effort, then I could really grow it. I do talk mostly about locks. Something you guys may not know a whole lot about me is that fitness is a huge part of my life. I'm actually a personal trainer and an online fitness coach, and I love to work out. And I would love to include that in my content over on YouTube. And I really just want to know if that's something that you guys would be interested in. So if that is some content that you guys are interested in, please go ahead and in the comment box let me know what fitness topics or questions you might have. I would of course still talk about my locks, but I would love to include more fitness topics and more things about my everyday life. So now that that little update is out of the way, I now want to talk about some of the struggles that I have had to deal with over the years on my DIY Loc journey. So I did start my micro locks myself. I have never gone to a loctician. This is self-done, self-taught 100%, and I have definitely dealt with some struggles over the years. So if you are someone that is considering doing your own locks, or maybe you have already established your own locks and you are in the starter stage, you are a Loc newbie, I just wanted to make this video for you guys to, not to scare you, but to prepare you for some of the obstacles and struggles that you might have to deal with along the way. So the first struggle that I want to talk about, and this is going way back to the very beginning, since I am a DIYer, the first struggle that I really had to deal with, I would say, would be to learn how to retie, learn how to interlock. If you choose to be a DIYer, you are going to have to learn how to retie your hair, and that is going to come with a learning curve. In the very beginning, to avoid having to retie, just because I was nervous, it was a new skill, I didn't want to mess it up. So before I finally made the decision that I'm just going to have to learn how to retie, I actually tried to retwist my hair, and it turned out pretty good. But when I tell y'all, that retwist lasted all of like 2 or 3 days. Like I said before, I'm a gym girly. I sweat my scalp. I work out 4 or 5 days a week. So as you could imagine, palm rolling, retwisting, that did not work for me. I had to finally just accept it and learn to retie. It was a learning curve. It was a struggle. Of course, the more you do a skill, the better you become at it over time. I hopped here on YouTube. I watched lots of videos, practice, and eventually I got really good at it. So if you are learning how to retie your own hair, be patient. Keep practicing, and just remember how much money you are saving in the long run by learning to retie your own hair. Struggle number 2 was shrinkage. The shrinkage in the beginning, and honestly, not even the beginning. To be honest, I dealt with shrinkage up until the 2-year mark. Probably a little bit past the 2-year mark is when my shrinkage finally started to let up. But yeah, the shrinkage was so real. Be prepared to have to deal with the shrinkage, especially if you are starting with some length. So if you already have kind of like medium length long hair, then you are definitely going to have to deal with shrinkage. And I really specifically struggled with shrinkage because shrinkage is something that I struggled with my unlocked hair, and was also something that I was super sensitive and didn't love about my hair before I locked up. So struggling with shrinkage before locks and then having to deal with it after I started my locks was something that I really struggled with. To combat this shrinkage, I did do twist outs and braid outs a lot, and I also wore wigs sometimes. Looking back, I wish I would have embraced the shrinkage a little bit more, but I got through it and now I'm here. Struggle number 3 that I had to deal with on my lock journey would be the awkward phase. Some people call it the ugly phase, and I really never wanted to call it the ugly phase because that is just such a negative term. So I refer to it as the awkward stage, and the awkward stage is when your locks are kind of in between. They're not really starter locks anymore, but they're not fully matured. Some of my locks were maturing faster than others, so sometimes it just kind of looked a little bit crazy and it was really difficult to style sometimes. I would have locks sticking up every which way. Some didn't want to lay down, some were laying down just because they were matured a little bit further. There just wasn't a whole lot of cohesiveness and uniformity, so it was kind of difficult for me. Like I said when I was talking about the shrinkage, I did do braid outs and twist outs a lot to try to combat it. I also wore wigs. That awkward stage is super normal, and it is just a part of the journey for most of us. So if you are new on your journey or you are actually in that awkward phase, be patient. It is not going to last forever. Just try really, really hard to try and embrace every single stage of your locks. Struggle number 4, and this was not a struggle per se. This is just something that I wasn't expecting, and when it happened, I didn't know what it was, so I freaked out. So if you are on your lock journey and you are new, don't freak out if you see like white bulbs around like the roots of your locks. For the first several months of my lock journey, I did not have those white bulbs showing at the root of my locks, so it's just not something that I saw at first. But when I started to get those white bulbs showing, y'all, this is so embarrassing. I freaked out. I thought it was lice. There was white specks all over like the roots of my hair, and y'all, I was just freaking out. I had called urgent care and everything. I was like, how do I know if I have lice in my hair? Can I come in? Can I get a lice treatment? And I was freaking out. My husband did talk me down, y'all. I did not end up going to urgent care. I know I was tripping. But after lots of research, lots of YouTube videos, I learned that because you have locks and your shed hairs cannot escape, then at certain points, the white bulbs at the end of those shed hairs are going to show sometimes. So if you ever see those white bulbs, those white specks in your locks, don't freak out. It's normal. It's just the bulbs at the end of the shed hairs. And the last struggle that I have to talk about over the course of my lock journey was going to be patience. Patience is not one of my strong suits in general in any aspect of life. So of course, patience on my lock journey was something that I definitely struggled with. Looking back, I should have tried a little bit harder to embrace every single stage, because every single stage really is temporary. It doesn't last forever. So I would just really encourage y'all to learn to embrace every single stage. The journey actually goes by so quick. I know at the beginning of your lock journey, I hear this all the time. So many people are tempted to just comb out their locks and give it up and quit because they start to go through that awkward stage, because they deal with shrinkage, because their hair is not looking like what they want it to look like. But y'all have to understand that you truly do have to trust the process. It's just like a fitness journey. You have to trust the process. Be patient, give it time. This thing does take years. Your hair is not going to mature overnight. It is just something that does take kind of a long time. Once you get to that mature stage, it is so worth it. And even though it does take years, and I know that sounds like a long time, the journey actually flies by. Once you get 2, 3, 4 years in like me, you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, this went by so fast. What was I freaking out about before? So just hang in there, be patient. It is all worth it in the end. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video here. Please, please, please don't forget to like this video. Please share with a friend. Please subscribe to my channel. Like I said earlier in the video, I do want to try to be a lot more consistent here on YouTube, and I do want to start to include fitness content. So if you hung in till the end of this video, as a reminder, go ahead and go to the comment section and let me know what kind of fitness topics or questions you might have for me. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.